"You're just a worthless pensioner living off the state," Derek said, loud enough that his neighbors heard through the thin walls. I smiled, set down the eviction notice I'd been holding, took out my building ownership papers instead. That's all it took to make his face go white. What he didn't know was I owned 4 other buildings on this street, and his lease was up for renewal tomorrow. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. I stood in the hallway of 847 Morrison Street, 3rd floor, Unit 3B. The carpet was worn beige, same as it had been when I'd bought the building in 1987. Needed replacing. I'd been putting it off. Derek opened the door 6 inches, chain still on. Oh, Margaret's dad. Not warm. Just factual. Like I was the mailman. "Frank," I said. "My name's Frank." "Right. Margaret's not here. She's at yoga." I knew that. Margaret had texted me an hour ago asking if I could watch Emma, 4 years old, my granddaughter. I'd driven across town. "I'm here to watch Emma. Margaret asked me to come by at 6. Derek looked at his phone. "She didn't mention it. Check your messages." He didn't move, just stood there, door half closed, looking at me like I was selling something he didn't want. "Derek, it's cold out here. Can I come in?" We're kind of in the middle of dinner. Through the gap, I could see Emma at the table. Chicken nuggets, the frozen kind. She waved at me. "Hi, Grandpa." "Hey, sweetheart." Derek shifted his weight, blocked my view. "Look, I don't know what Margaret told you, but we don't actually need help tonight. We've got it covered. She texted me an hour ago. That was before. Plans changed. So I drove 30 minutes for nothing." He shrugged. "Sorry, man. Communication breakdown." Behind him, Emma climbed down from her chair, started walking toward the door. "Grandpa, do you want to see my drawing?" "Emma, get back to the table," Derek said. Sharp. She stopped. I looked at him. Really looked. 28 years old, graphic designer, worked from home, been married to my daughter for 6 years. I'd helped them with the down payment on their wedding, $15,000. Never paid back, never expected it to be. "Is Margaret okay?" I asked. "She's fine, just busy. You know how it is." "I don't, actually. That's why I'm asking." His jaw tightened. "She's at yoga, then meeting friends. She'll be back around 9. "And Emma?" "I'm watching her. I'm her father." "I can see that. I'm just saying Margaret asked me to come." "Well, she shouldn't have." He started closing the door. "We've got it handled." "Derek, look, Frank, I don't mean to be rude, but we're fine. We don't need you tonight. Maybe next time call first before you drive over." The door closed. I heard the deadbolt slide. I stood there for a moment. Hallway quiet except for the heating system rattling in the walls. Same heating system I'd replaced in 1994 after the original boiler died. Cost me $8,000. My phone buzzed. "Margaret. Dad, are you there yet? Derek just texted saying you showed up, but we don't need you. I'm so sorry. I forgot he took the afternoon off. Total miscommunication on my end." I stared at the text. Forgotten. Miscommunication. 30-minute drive. Cold hallway. I texted back. "No problem. Let me know next time." Drove home. The apartment I'd been renting for 3 years since Martha died. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, $1,200 a month. The landlord kept raising it. Every year another $50. Martha had been gone 4 years. Cancer, pancreatic, 6 months from diagnosis to funeral. She died holding my hand in the bedroom of the house we'd lived in for 38 years. The house on Maple Street with the oak tree in the front yard that I'd planted the week Margaret was born. We'd sold that house 2 months after Martha passed. Margaret's idea. "Dad, it's too much space for you. All those stairs, the yard. You're 70 years old. What if you fall?" "I'm fine." "You're not fine. You're grieving. You can't see clearly right now." So we'd sold it. $285,000, split the money. $142,500 to her, $142,500 to me. I'd put mine in savings. She'd used hers for a new car and a remodel of their kitchen. The kitchen in the apartment they rented at 847 Morrison Street, 3rd floor, Unit 3B, the building I owned. Not that they knew that. I sat at my kitchen table, laminate top, cheap. Not like the oak table Martha and I had owned. The one I'd built in my workshop. Sold with the house. Opened my banking app, scrolled back. $15,000 to Margaret on June 12th, 2018. Wedding. She'd asked 2 months before. Dad, we're short on the venue deposit. Can you help? I'd helped. $8,500 to Margaret on March 3rd, 2019. Dad, Derek's business idea needs startup capital. We'll pay you back. The business was a graphic design LLC. Lasted 11 months. Never saw the money again. $12,000 to Margaret on November 18th, 2020. Dad, we found the perfect apartment, but we need first month, last month, and security deposit. 847 Morrison Street, Unit 3B. I'd handed her the check, watched her sign the lease. Stood next to her in the rental office when she met the property manager who worked for me. I hadn't told her, hadn't planned it. Just happened to own the building. Bought it in 1987 for $240,000, 6 units. Good investment. Paid itself off by 2001. Pure profit after that. But I'd helped with the deposit anyway. Seemed like the right thing to do. $2,200 to Margaret on February 8th, 2021. Dad, daycare is killing us. Can you cover this month? $2,800 to Margaret on May 14th, 2021. Dad, car needs new transmission. $950 to Margaret on August 30th, 2021. Dad, Emma needs dental work. Insurance doesn't cover it. $2,400 to Margaret on December 20th, 2021. Dad, Christmas is expensive with a toddler. Can you help? I scrolled further. The transfers blurred together, some pattern, same requests. Emergency. Help. Short. Need. Never. Thank you, Dad. We'll pay you back. Never. How are you doing? Never. Want to come for dinner? 67,340s in 4 years. Not counting the wedding, not counting the business, not counting the apartment deposit. Total, $102,140. I sat there, coffee cold, forgot I'd poured it. The apartment was quiet, too quiet. Some mornings I still reached for 2 cups instead of 1. My phone buzzed. Margaret. Hey Dad, quick question. Derek and I are looking at buying a house. There's one in Riverside we love, but we're about $30K short on the down payment. I know it's a lot to ask, but could you help us out? We'd pay you back once we sell some of Derek's stocks. Derek didn't have stocks. I knew that. I'd co-signed his car loan 2 years ago when the bank rejected him. Seen his credit report. $28,000 in credit card debt. No assets. I stared at the text. Typed, Margaret, I need to talk to you about something. Can you come by this weekend? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. This weekend is crazy. Derek's parents are visiting. Maybe next month? Next month. Same thing she'd said at Thanksgiving when I'd asked about Christmas plans. Same thing she'd said at Christmas when I'd asked about her birthday. Always next month, always busy. I'd seen her 4 times last year. Emma's birthday in April, Margaret's birthday in July, Thanksgiving for 2 hours, Christmas for 90 minutes before Derek said they had another stop to make. 4 times in 12 months, but 23 requests for money. I counted them, went through my texts, my bank statements. Every message that started with, Dad, I hate to ask, or Dad, quick favor, or Dad, emergency. 23 times. 23 times I'd said yes. The heating system rattled. I looked around the apartment. Beige walls, brown carpet, small windows facing the parking lot. $12,200 a month for this. Meanwhile, I owned 6 buildings in this city, 42 units total. Bought them over 30 years working as a building inspector for the city. Learned which properties were undervalued, which owners were desperate. Saved every penny. Lived small, invested careful. Martha had known. She'd helped me, kept the books, managed the tenants. We'd been a team, but we'd never told Margaret. Let her make her own way, Martha had said. We didn't have family money. Turned out fine. And when Margaret was young, that made sense. Let her work. Let her learn. Let her build something herself. But then Martha got sick. And Margaret visited twice during those 6 months. Once right after diagnosis. Once the week before the funeral. Both times she'd spent most of the visit on her phone. Sorry, Dad. Work emergency. Work emergency. While her mother was dying. I'd told myself she was coping. Everyone handles grief differently. She was young. 32 at the time. Not ready to lose her mother. But then, after the funeral, after we'd buried Martha in the plot next to where mine would eventually go, Margaret had sat me down. Dad, we need to talk about your finances. Not, are you okay? Not, what do you need? Your finances. She'd brought spreadsheets, printed them out, set them on the kitchen table in the house Martha died in. You're sitting on significant equity here. The house is worth $285,000. That's money you don't need. You're 70. You've got your pension and Social Security. You don't need this much space. This is my home. It was Mom's home. Now it's just a house, and it's too big for you. Derek had nodded. He'd come to the funeral, sat next to Margaret, checked his phone during the service, left before the reception ended. We're thinking you could sell this place, Margaret continued. Downsize to something manageable, an apartment, maybe one of those senior communities. I don't want a senior community. Dad, be realistic. You can't maintain this place alone. The yard, the repairs. What if something breaks? I'll fix it. I've been fixing things for 40 years. You're 70. She kept saying that, like it was an expiration date. We'd sold the house 2 months later. I'd signed the papers in a lawyer's office that smelled like old carpet and coffee. Watched the number on the check. $285,000, minus realtor fees, minus closing costs. $267,000 net. Split it down the middle. Seemed fair. She was my daughter, my only child. Her half went into her account on a Wednesday. By Friday, she'd bought the car. My half went into savings. Been sitting there since, except for the transfers, the emergencies, the help. 3 days after the hallway incident, I got a text from Derek. Not Margaret. Derek. Hey Frank, got a minute to talk? I called him. Yeah, so listen, he said. No greeting, just straight to it. Margaret and I have been talking. We think you might be getting a little confused lately. Confused? Yeah, like showing up the other night when we didn't actually need you. Margaret feels bad, but she's worried you might be having some memory issues. She texted me to come watch Emma. Right, but then she texted you back saying never mind. You must have missed that message. I pulled up my texts. Read them again. She didn't text me until after I left your apartment. Huh. Well, she says she did. And honestly, Frank, this isn't the first time. Remember last month when you thought Emma's birthday party was on Saturday, but it was actually Sunday? You told me Saturday. Then you changed it to Sunday 2 days before. We didn't change it. It was always Sunday. Margaret sent you the invitation 3 weeks early. I pulled up the invitation. Text message. November 3rd. Emma's party is Saturday, December 2nd, at 2 p.m. December 2nd had been a Sunday. The invitation said Saturday, I told him. Right, but the date was Sunday. Obviously we meant the date, not the day. That's just a typo. I sat there, phone, pressed to my ear, listening to my son-in-law explain how I'd misunderstood his typo. Derek, why are you calling me? Margaret's worried about you. We both are. You're living alone in that apartment, no family nearby. We're thinking maybe it's time to look at some options. Options? Care facilities, assisted living, places where there's staff, people to check on you. I'm 70, not 90. Age is just a number, Frank. It's about capability. And honestly, we're worried you're not capable of managing on your own anymore. My jaw tightened. I managed to drive across town 3 nights ago to help you. Help we didn't need. That's the point. You're making up situations that aren't happening. Margaret texted me. And you're not remembering correctly. That's what we're saying. It's not your fault. It's just age. But we need to be realistic here. Realistic. Same word Margaret had used about the house. I'm fine, I said. Okay, but here's the thing. You're also sitting on a lot of money. That's savings from the house sale, plus your pension. You don't need all that. And honestly, it's kind of inefficient. Inefficient. You're not using it. It's just sitting there. Meanwhile, Margaret and I are trying to build a future for Emma. Buy a house, set up a college fund. We could use that money way more than you need it. I didn't say anything. I'm just being honest here, Derek continued. You're 70. How much longer do you really need that money? 10 years, 15. Meanwhile, we're raising your granddaughter. Don't you want to help with that? I've been helping. Yeah, and we appreciate the occasional $100 here and there. But we're talking about real help, like that down payment we need. $30,000, that's nothing to you. That's a fraction of what you're sitting on. It's my savings. It's money you're hoarding while your family struggles. That's how Margaret sees it. That's how I see it. I could feel it building. Heat in my chest, pressure behind my eyes. Let me ask you something, Derek. How much is your rent? What? Your apartment. 847 Morrison, 3rd floor. How much do you pay monthly? I don't see how that's relevant. Humor me. He sighed. $2,200. Why? $2,200. I charged $1,050. The property manager must have increased it at the last renewal. And you've lived there how long? 4 years. Again, what's your point? My point is you're paying $26,400 a year in rent. Over 4 years, that's $105,600. Money you'll never see again. But you want me to give you $30,000 for a down payment on a house you can't afford. We can afford it. We just need help with the initial payment. You have $28,000 in credit card debt. Silence. How do you know that? I co-signed your car loan. Saw your credit report. That was 2 years ago. We've paid that down. Have you? More silence. This is exactly what Margaret means, he said, voice colder now. You're obsessing over details that don't matter, being paranoid. That's not healthy, Frank. I'm being practical. You're being a worthless pensioner living off the state and hoarding money from your family. The words landed like stones, each one deliberate. What did you say? You heard me. You're 70 years old. You live in a shit apartment. You drive a 15-year-old car. You exist on government checks. And you're sitting on money you'll never use while your daughter and your granddaughter struggle. That's not practical. That's selfish. My hands were steady. That surprised me. I think we're done here, I said. We're done when Margaret says we're done. And she wants you to think seriously about helping us. If you can't do that, then maybe we need to think seriously about whether Emma should be around someone who's clearly declining. Declining. Mentally. You're showing signs, Frank. Margaret sees it. I see it. We're documenting it. So when the time comes to make decisions about your care, we'll have evidence. Evidence. You're repeating words back to me. That's another sign. Look, I'm trying to help you here. Work with us on this down payment, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. Fight us, and we'll do what we need to do to protect Emma from an unstable grandparent. The call ended. I sat there, phone in my hand, coffee cold again. The heating system rattled. I opened my laptop, pulled up the property management account. 847 Morrison Street, 6 units, all occupied, all current on rent. Unit 3B, tenant, Derek Sullivan and Margaret Hayes Sullivan. Lease signed December 1st, 2020. Current term ending December 31st, 2024, 2 months from now. I scrolled through the payment history. Every month, on time, except March 2023, paid 6 days late, and August 2023, paid 9 days late. I pulled up the lease terms. Standard 1 year. Automatic renewal unless either party gives 60 days notice. 60 days. Today was October 28th. I opened a new document. Typed, Dear Tenant, this letter serves as notice that your lease at 847 Morrison Street, Unit 3B, will not be renewed upon expiration on December 31st, 2024. Please arrange to vacate the premises by this date. Your security deposit will be returned within 30 days of move-out, pending final inspection. Sincerely, Morrison Properties, LLC. Standard letter. I'd sent dozens of them over the years, usually to problem tenants, people who paid late, caused damage, disturbed neighbors, never to family. I stared at the screen. My phone buzzed. Margaret. Dad, Derek said he talked to you about the house. Can we please sit down and discuss this like adults? I really think we could find a solution that works for everyone. I looked at the letter on my screen, looked at Margaret's text, thought about Derek's voice. Worthless pensioner. Thought about the hallway 3 nights ago, door closing in my face. Thought about Martha's funeral, Margaret on her phone. Thought about $102,040. I hit print. The property manager's name was Susan Chen. She'd worked for me for 12 years. Retired teacher. Managed my buildings part-time. Good with details. Better with people. I met her at her office Thursday morning. Small place above a dry cleaner on 4th Street. Frank, good to see you. She poured coffee. The good kind, not the apartment kind. What's on your mind? I handed her the letter. She read it, looked up. Unit 3B, that's your daughter's place. It is. You want to not renew her lease? I do. Susan set down the letter. Can I ask why? I told her. Not all of it, just enough. The money, the requests, the phone call. She listened, didn't interrupt. When I finished, she said, You know they'll have to find a new place by the end of December. That's 9 weeks from now. Rental market's tight right now. I know. And this will cause problems. Family problems. I know that too. She picked up the letter again. You're sure about this? I'm sure. Okay. She pulled out her laptop. I'll send it today. Certified mail. They'll have it by Saturday. Thank you. Frank, one more thing. They're going to ask why. I'll tell them the owner decided not to renew. They're going to push. Ask for a reason. Ask to negotiate. What do you want me to say? Tell them the owner's decision is final. And if they ask who the owner is, I thought about that. Tell them the owner prefers to remain anonymous. They already think the owner is some LLC they've never met. I can keep that going. Good. She saved the document, clicked send. It's done. They'll get it Saturday. I stood up, shook her hand. I appreciate this. Frank, can I give you some advice? Sure. This is going to blow up. You know that. Margaret's going to be hurt and angry. Derek's going to be worse, and eventually they'll figure out you own the building. Eventually. What's your plan for when that happens? I didn't have one. Not really. Just a feeling in my chest that I'd had enough. I'll deal with it when it comes, I said. Susan nodded. Just be ready. This kind of thing doesn't stay quiet. The letter arrived Saturday. I know because Margaret called me at 9:47 a.m. Dad, did you know about this? About what? Our landlord is evicting us. Evicting? Not renewing our lease. Same thing. We have to be out by December 31st. Did you know about this? How would I know about your lease? I don't know. I'm asking. Did your landlord say anything to you? My landlord. Different person. Different building. No. Why would they? I don't know, Dad. I'm freaking out here. We have 9 weeks to find a new place. Do you know how hard that is? Everything in our price range is gone or terrible. Why aren't they renewing? They won't say. Just owner's decision. We've been perfect tenants. Never late. Never complained. Never caused problems. And now they're just kicking us out for no reason. Did you call the property manager? Of course I called. She said the owner wants the unit vacant, won't give a reason, won't negotiate, just buy, you're done. I could hear Derek in the background. This is bullshit. We have rights. Can you help us? Margaret asked. Help you how? I don't know. Do you know any landlords? Anyone with openings? We need a 3-bedroom, under $2,500, close to Emma's school. I thought about my building. 4 vacancies across 6 properties. 2 of them 3 bedrooms. One for $2,200. One for $2,400. I'll ask around, I said. Dad, we're desperate here. And with the holidays coming up, We don't have money for movers, or deposits, or first and last month's rent. We're completely screwed. What about the $30,000 you were planning to use for a house? Silence. That's different, she said. How? That was for investment. This is emergency. We can't be homeless. You're not going to be homeless. You have 9 weeks. 9 weeks is nothing. Do you know how long it takes to find a place? Apply? Get approved? Move? We have a 4-year-old, Dad. We can't just throw our stuff in a car. Derek's voice again, louder. Ask him for money. Dad, can you help with the deposit? Just the deposit. We'll figure out the rest. How much? Usually it's first month, last month, and security. So 3 months rent. If we find a place for $2,400, that's $7,200. That's a lot. I know, but we're out of options. Please, Dad. I thought about the letter I'd printed. The letter Susan had sent. Let me think about it, I said. Think about it? Dad, we need an answer. We're starting to look at places today. I'll call you tomorrow. Tomorrow? Dad? I hung up. Sat there, phone on the table, heating system rattling. They found a place by Wednesday. Texted me the details. 3-bedroom, $2,550 a month. Riverside neighborhood. 40 minutes from Emma's school. Available January 1st. We applied. They want $7,150 up front. First, last, security. Can you help? I didn't respond. Thursday. Dad, did you see my text? Friday. Dad, we need an answer. They have other applicants. Saturday. Dad, please, we're running out of time. Sunday morning, Margaret showed up at my apartment. Knocked until I opened the door. Why aren't you answering? I've been thinking. For 6 days? Dad, they're going to rent it to someone else. We need to move on this. Come in. She stepped inside, looked around. Same beige walls, same brown carpet. First time she'd visited in 8 months. You want coffee? I asked. No, I want you to tell me if you're going to help us. I sat at the kitchen table. She stayed standing. $7,050, I said. Yes, and you'll pay me back. Eventually, when we're on our feet. Like the wedding? Her face changed. That was different. How? You offered to help with the wedding. We didn't ask. I offered after you told me you couldn't afford the venue. Same thing. And Derek's business? The $8,500. That was an investment. In a business that lasted less than a year. He tried, Dad. It didn't work out. That's not his fault. And the $12,000 for the deposit on this apartment? She crossed her arms. Are you seriously itemizing help you gave your daughter? I'm asking when I'll see any of it back. When we can afford it. So never. Wow. She shook her head. I can't believe you. Mom would be so disappointed. There it was. The card she'd been holding. Your mother wouldn't have let it get this far, I said. What's that supposed to mean? It means she would have told you no the 3rd time you asked for money. Taught you to stand on your own. She would have helped family. She always put family first. She put family first by teaching you responsibility. Oh, so now you're going to parent me? At 36? Thanks, Dad. Really helpful. Margaret, you've asked me for money 23 times in 4 years. You counted? I counted. That's sick. That's actually sick. 102,840s total. Not counting the transfers under $500. Not counting the birthday checks. Not counting the 6 times I bought groceries. She stared at me. You really counted. I did. And you're throwing it in my face. I'm answering your question. You asked when you'd pay me back. I'm saying you've never paid back $1 of 102,140. So why would I believe you'd pay back $7,650? Because I'm your daughter. That's not a reason. That's an excuse. Her eyes filled. Actual tears. First time I'd seen her cry since Martha's funeral. I can't believe you're doing this. We're about to be homeless. You're not going to be homeless. You have options. No, we don't. Everything else in our price range is either too small or too far or too expensive. This is our only shot. Then take it without my money. We don't have the deposit. Then you can't afford the apartment. Dad, Margaret, sit down. I don't want to sit down. Sit down. She sat. wiped her eyes. I leaned forward. I need you to hear me, really hear me. I'm done. Done with what? Being your bank, your backup plan, your emergency fund. I'm done. You're my father. That's right. I'm your father, not your ATM. I've never treated you like an ATM. You've asked me for money 23 times in 4 years. You visited me 4 times. You do the math. That's not fair. We're busy. Busy enough to ask for help. Not busy enough to say thank you. We've thanked you. When? She opened her mouth, closed it. Tell me the last time you said thank you for money I gave you. I don't know. Recently. Try never. That's not true. Show me a text, a call, an email, anything where you said thank you and didn't immediately follow it with another request. She pulled out her phone, scrolled, stopped, scrolled more, put the phone down. Okay, so maybe I could be better about that. But we've been struggling, Dad. You don't know what it's like. I know exactly what it's like. I raised you on a building inspector's salary. Your mother worked part-time at the library. We didn't have family money. We made it work. Times are different now. Times aren't different. Choices are different. You and Derek want a lifestyle you can't afford. We want a normal life. Then live within your means. We are. You're $28,000 in credit card debt. That's old information. Is it? She didn't answer. I stood up, walked to the counter, poured coffee that had gone cold again. Here's what's going to happen, I said. You're going to figure out your housing situation without my money. You're going to build a budget. You're going to pay off your debt. And you're going to learn to live on what you make. And what are you going to do? Just abandon us? I'm going to stop enabling you. Enabling? Dad, you're talking like I'm an addict. You're addicted to help you haven't earned. She stood up. I'm done with this. I came here thinking you'd act like a father. Instead, you're acting like a landlord. The word hung in the air. Get out, I said. What? Get out of my apartment. Dad! Get out, now. She grabbed her purse, walked to the door, turned back. You're going to regret this. When you're old and alone and you need help, don't come calling me. I won't. She left. Door closed. Didn't slam. Just clicked shut. I stood there, coffee cup in my hand. The heating system rattled. Derek called that night. 11:47 p.m. You're making a huge mistake. Derek, it's almost midnight. I don't care. You need to hear this. Margaret is crying. She's been crying for hours. You broke her heart. She'll survive. Will she? Because right now she's talking about cutting you off completely. No visits, no calls, no Emma. You'll never see your granddaughter again. That's her choice. It's your fault. You're choosing money over family. I'm choosing boundaries over manipulation. Manipulation? We're asking for help. That's what families do. Families also visit. Families also say thank you. Families also give without expecting something back. We've given you plenty. Like what? Access to Emma. You think you'd get to see her if we didn't allow it? There it was. The threat I'd been waiting for. So, Emma is leverage now? Emma is our daughter. We decide who gets to be in her life. And right now we're deciding you're not a good influence. Because I won't give you money. Because you're unstable. Margaret told me what you said, how you counted every dollar you've given us. That's psychotic, Frank. Normal people don't keep score like that. Normal people don't ask for 6 figures and never say thank you. We've thanked you. When? I'm not going through this again. The point is you're being selfish and cruel. And if you don't fix this, you're going to lose your daughter and your granddaughter. Is your precious money worth that? The money isn't the point. Then what is? Respect, gratitude, basic human decency. We've shown you plenty of respect. You called me a worthless pensioner. Silence. I was frustrated, he said. You were honest. I didn't mean it. Yes, you did, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm entitled to stop funding your life. You're not funding our life. You've helped occasionally. $102,040. Jesus Christ, you really are obsessed with that number. It's my number, my money, my decision. It's selfish money you'll never use. You're 70 years old. What are you saving for? My future. What future? You're going to die alone in that shitty apartment and leave everything to charity out of spite? Maybe. That's insane. That's my choice. He was quiet for a moment. I could hear him breathing. Okay, he said. You want to play it this way? Fine, we'll play. But don't come crying when you realize what you've lost. I won't. And when you're drooling in a nursing home, don't expect Margaret to visit. I don't. Good. We're done here. He hung up. I set down the phone, looked around the apartment. Beige walls, brown carpet, quiet except for the heating system. Alone. I'd been alone for 4 years. Since Martha died, this wasn't new, but it felt different now, heavier. I went to bed, didn't sleep much. Susan called Friday morning. Frank, we have a problem. What kind of problem? Your daughter and her husband showed up at my office yesterday. They're threatening to sue. For what? Wrongful eviction. They're claiming we violated the lease terms, that they have a right to renew. Do they? No. The lease clearly states either party can choose not to renew with proper notice. We gave proper notice. They don't have a case. So, what's the problem? The problem is they're loud and angry, and they're scaring my other clients. Derek stood in my office for 20 minutes yelling about discrimination and illegal eviction and lawyers. I need you to handle this. Handle it how? Tell them the truth. Tell them you own the building, because if you don't, they're going to find out anyway. And when they do, it's going to be worse. She was right. I knew she was right. Okay, I said. I'll talk to them. When? Today. I hung up. Stared at the phone. Then I called Margaret. Straight to voicemail. Texted her. We need to talk, in person, today. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. I have nothing to say to you. I have something to say to you. Meet me at 2 p.m., Riverside Park, the bench near the playground. Why would I do that? Because if you don't, you're going to hear it from a lawyer instead. No response. But at 1:58 p.m., she was there, sitting on the bench, arms crossed. Derek next to her. He saw me coming and stood up. Whatever you're about to say, save it. We're lawyering up. Sit down, Derek. I don't take orders from you. Sit down. Margaret pulled his arm. Just let him talk. He sat, barely. I stayed standing, looked at both of them. I own the building, I said. Margaret blinked. What building? 847 Morrison. I own it. I've owned it since 1987. Her face went blank. Processing. Derek got it first. You're the landlord. I'm the landlord. You've been our landlord for 4 years. Yes. And you never told us. No. Margaret's voice came out small. You charged us rent. The property manager set the rent at market rate. I didn't interfere. We paid you $105,600 over 4 years. You paid the building. I'm just the owner. That's the same thing. It's not, actually. The building has expenses. Taxes, maintenance, insurance, management fees. You paid rent to live in a property I own. That's how rental properties work. Derek stood up again. You son of a bitch. You let us struggle. You let us scrape together rent every month, and the whole time you were collecting it. I wasn't collecting anything. The property management company was. That's semantics. That's business. It's family. You screwed over your own family. I provided you with housing at market rate. That's not screwing you over. That's being a landlord. Margaret was shaking her head. I can't believe this. I can't believe you've been lying to us this whole time. I didn't lie. I just didn't volunteer information. You let us pay you rent while asking you for money. Do you see how insane that is? Do you see how insane it is that you paid your landlord rent and then asked him for $12,000 for your deposit? She stopped, looked at me. The deposit, she said. You gave us money for the deposit on an apartment you owned. Yes. Why? Because you asked. Because I thought it would help. But you were already making money off us. I was charging you fair market rent for a property I own. Those are separate things. They're not separate. You're my father. That's right. I'm your father, not your charity. And I've given you 102 kuat and 2,240s in 4 years, while you paid me 105,600 in rent. Net difference, $3,000. Congratulations. You're almost even. The math hit her. I could see it. Her face went pale. Derek's went red. You planned this whole thing. You kicked us out for revenge. I kicked you out because you called me a worthless pensioner who lives off the state and hoards money from family. I was angry. You were honest, and that's fine. But I'm not going to continue housing someone who thinks that about me. You can't do this. I already did. You have 9 weeks. I suggest you use them. Margaret stood up. Dad, please. Let's figure this out. We can work something out. No, we can't. Why not? Because you don't respect me. You see me as a resource, a backup plan, an ATM with a heartbeat, and I'm done being that. I don't see you that way. You visit 4 times a year. You call 23 times. Every call is a request. You do the math. I've been busy. Stop. Just stop. I sat down on the bench, suddenly tired. Margaret, your mother died 4 years ago. You visited her twice while she was sick, twice in 6 months. Both times you spent more time on your phone than talking to her. That's not fair. It's true. And when she died, you cried at the funeral. Then a week later, you were pushing me to sell the house so you could get your inheritance. I was thinking about your future. You were thinking about money. That's all you ever think about. How much you need, how much you can get, how much you're owed. Derek stepped closer. You're a bitter old man who can't stand seeing his daughter succeed. If you were succeeding, you wouldn't be asking me for money. We're building something. That takes capital. You're building debt. That takes bad decisions. He moved fast, got in my face. Say that again. Derek. Margaret reached for him. No. Let him say it again. Let him tell me I make bad decisions while he sits on 6 buildings collecting rent like some kind of slumlord. 6 buildings I bought with money I earned, I said. Not money I begged from family. He shoved me. Not hard. Just enough to push me back on the bench. Margaret screamed, Derek, stop! I stood up, slowly. My knee hurt, arthritis, but I stood. Touch me again, I said. Please, touch me again. He stepped back. Something in my voice stopped him. I was 70 years old. Spent 40 years inspecting buildings, crawling through crawl spaces, climbing ladders, carrying equipment. I wasn't as strong as I used to be, but I was stronger than Derek. He saw it, backed up another step. We're done here, I said. You have until December 31st. Be out, or I'll have the sheriff remove you. I walked away. Behind me, Margaret called, Dad, wait. I didn't wait. They didn't call, didn't text, nothing for 2 weeks. Then Margaret posted on Facebook. I saw it because Susan showed me on her phone Monday morning. Long post, 6 paragraphs, about how I'd cruelly evicted her after pretending to be a loving father while secretly profiting from her. How I'd manipulated her into paying rent while hoarding wealth I refused to share. How I was mentally unstable and unsafe around Emma. 347 likes, 128 comments, most of them supportive. I'm so sorry. What a terrible father. You deserve better. Some skeptical. There must be more to the story. Why would he do that? One from Derek's mother. Praying for you both. Family should come first. Susan set down her phone. You see it? I see it. You going to respond? No. She's painting you as the villain. She needs a villain. I'm convenient. Frank, people believe this stuff. Half her friends think you're abusive. Let them think it. That doesn't bother you. People who know me know better. People who don't know me don't matter. She studied me. You're really okay with this? I'm tired, Susan. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of explaining. I'm tired of justifying my own boundaries. So no, I'm not going to respond to a Facebook post. I'm going to let her say what she needs to say. And I'm going to move on. What about Emma? That one hurt. More than the post. More than the accusations. Emma is 4 years old. She won't remember me in 10 years. Margaret will make sure of it. You don't know that. I know my daughter. When she's angry, she burns bridges. She learned that from me. Susan didn't argue. Thanksgiving came. I spent it alone. Heated up a turkey sandwich, watched football. Margaret posted photos. Her, Derek, Emma, and Derek's parents. Big table. Lots of food. Caption: grateful for family that shows up. The comments poured in. More support. More outrage on her behalf. I turned off my phone. December came. Cold. Early snow. I drove past 847 Morrison on the 15th. Saw a moving truck. They were leaving early. Good. Susan called that afternoon. They're out. Left the keys with the security guard. Place is clean. No damage. Security deposit? I'll process it. Should have a check by the end of the week. Send it to them. You sure? Technically, we could keep it for early termination. Send it. All of it. Okay. I hung up. Sat in my car. Looked at the building. 3rd floor. Unit 3B. Lights off. Empty. Christmas Eve, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Mr. Hayes? A woman's voice. Young. Speaking. This is Amanda from Riverside Elementary. I'm calling about Emma Sullivan. My chest tightened. Is she okay? She's fine, but we have her here in the office. Her parents were supposed to pick her up at 3 o'clock. It's now 5:30. We've called both their numbers. No answer. I looked at the clock. 5:34 p.m. I can come get her. Are you on the approved pickup list? I don't know. I'm her grandfather. Let me check. Pause. Keyboard clicking. I see a Frank Hayes listed. Is that you? Yes. Okay. Can you be here soon? We close at 6 o'clock. I'm on my way. I drove fast. Too fast. Didn't care. Got to the school at 5:51. Emma was in the office with a teacher. She saw me and ran. Grandpa! I caught her, held her. She was crying. Hey, sweetheart, it's okay. Mommy didn't come. I know, but I'm here now. The teacher, Amanda, handed me a form. Just sign here, and if you reach her parents, please have them call us. This is the 3rd time this month. 3rd time? They've been late for pickup, usually just 15-20 minutes, but this is the longest. I signed the form, took Emma's hand. We walked to my car. Are you hungry? I asked. She nodded. How about burgers? Can I get a milkshake? You can get whatever you want. We went to the diner on 5th Street. She ordered a chocolate milkshake and chicken nuggets. I ordered coffee. She talked the whole time about school, about her friends, about the Christmas play where she was an angel. Are you coming to see it? She asked. When is it? Tomorrow. Christmas. I don't think I'm invited. Why not? Your mom and I had a disagreement. About what? Grown-up stuff. Was it about me? No, sweetheart. It wasn't about you. Mommy said you don't want to see me anymore. The words hit like glass. That's not true. I always want to see you. Then why don't you visit? Because your mom and I need some space right now. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. Do you promise? I promise. She finished her milkshake. I paid. We went back to the car. Where are we going? She asked. Good question. I tried Margaret's number. Straight to voicemail. Tried Derek. Same. Called the school back. Did they ever call? No. We tried 3 more times. No answer. I sat there, engine running. Emma in the back seat singing to herself. I could take her to my apartment. Wait for Margaret to call. Return her tomorrow. Or I could drive to their new place. Make sure they were okay. I drove to Riverside. The address Margaret had texted weeks ago. Small duplex. One side lit up, the other dark. Their side was dark. No car in the driveway. I knocked. No answer. Tried the door. Locked. Looked through the window. Couldn't see much. But the place looked empty. No furniture. No lights. I called Margaret again. Voicemail. Texted. I have Emma. Where are you? No response. I stood there. Emma in the car behind me. Christmas Eve. 6:47 p.m. I got back in the car. Change of plans, I said. You're staying with Grandpa tonight. Really? Really. Can we watch movies? We can watch whatever you want, she cheered. I drove back to my apartment, set her up on the couch with blankets, found a cartoon on TV. She fell asleep by 8 o'clock. I sat in the chair, watched her breathe. So small, so trusting. My phone buzzed. Margaret. Where's Emma? With me. Where are you? That's none of your business. It's my business when I'm the one picking her up from school 2 hours late on Christmas Eve. We got held up. Doing what? That's none of your business either. Bring her home. Where's home? Silence. Margaret, where do you live? The Riverside place didn't work out. We're staying with Derek's parents temporarily. Give me the address. No. Meet me at the Starbucks on Maple, 20 minutes. She hung up. I looked at Emma, asleep, peaceful. Woke her gently. Come on, sweetheart. Your mom's here. She rubbed her eyes. Already? Already. I carried her to the car, drove to Starbucks. Margaret's car was in the lot. She got out when she saw me. I unbuckled Emma. She walked to her mom. Grandpa got me a milkshake, she said. That's nice. Margaret looked at me. Thanks. What happened to the Riverside place? Fell through. Why? We couldn't get approved. Credit issues. Where are you staying? I told you, Derek's parents. For how long? I don't know. Until we figure something out. She opened her car door. Emma climbed in. Margaret. She looked at me. Third time this month, I said. What? The school said this is the third time you've been late picking her up. We've been busy. Too busy to get your daughter? Don't lecture me about parenting. I'm not lecturing. I'm concerned. Well, don't be. We're fine. She got in the car, started the engine. Emma waved through the window. I waved back. They drove away. I sat in the parking lot. Engine off. Christmas lights on the Starbucks. Couple walking past, holding hands. I drove home. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. I didn't hear from them for 3 weeks. Then, January 18th, my phone rang. Derek. We need to talk. Okay. In person, today. Where? Your apartment. 1 hour. He hung up. They showed up at 2 o'clock. Both of them. No Emma. I let them in. They didn't sit. Derek spoke first. We're homeless. I didn't say anything. Derek's parents kicked us out, Margaret said. We've been staying in hotels. We're out of money. What about your jobs? I got laid off, Derek said. Budget cuts. And you? I'm still working, Margaret said. But it's not enough. Not for hotels, not for deposits, not for anything. What do you want from me? We need a place to stay. Temporarily. Just until we get back on our feet. No. Margaret's face crumpled. Dad, please. No. We have nowhere else to go. That's not my problem. Derek stepped closer. It's your fault. You kicked us out. You started this. I ended a lease. You chose not to plan for it. We couldn't find anything. Everything we applied for rejected us because of you. Because of your credit, your debt, your choices. We're going to be on the street. Then you should have made better decisions. Margaret grabbed my arm. Dad, please. Emma needs a place to sleep. Where is Emma? With a friend. But we can't keep imposing. So you're imposing on me instead. Your family. I'm the family member you called mentally unstable on Facebook. The one you said was unsafe around your daughter, remember? She looked down. I was angry. You were honest. Like Derek was honest when he called me worthless. We didn't mean it. You meant it. You just didn't think I'd hold you accountable. So that's it, Derek said. You're going to let your granddaughter be homeless? My granddaughter has 2 parents. They'll figure it out. We're asking for help. I'm done helping. You're a selfish bastard, Derek said. Probably. He turned to Margaret. I told you, he doesn't care. He's never cared. They left. I sat down, hands shaking. The heating system rattled. February 3rd. Susan called. Frank, you sitting down? Why? Margaret and Derek are applying for one of your units. Which building? Parkview Apartments, 2-bedroom. They listed you as a reference. Did you tell them I own it? Not yet. What do you want me to do? I thought about it. Emma's face, the milkshake, the school pickup. Process their application normally. Credit check, background check, references. If they qualify, they qualify. And if they don't, then they don't. Frank, they won't qualify. Derek's got no job. Margaret's income is too low. Their credit is shot. Then send them a denial letter. That's cold. That's business. She was quiet. Then, okay, I'll process it. Thanks. I hung up. 2 days later, Susan called back. They didn't qualify, sent the denial. Margaret called me screaming, said we're discriminating, said she'll sue, said you're a monster. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What else is there? I don't know. I guess I expected more reaction. I'm tired, Susan. I'm tired of reacting. Let her scream. Let her sue. Let her call me a monster. I've done everything I'm willing to do. She's your daughter. And she's made her choices. I can't save her from them. What about Emma? That question hurt. Still hurt. Emma has 2 parents. If they can't take care of her, that's between them and child services. Not me. You'd really let it go that far? I'd really let them handle their own lives. Susan sighed. All right. I'll document everything, just in case she does sue. Good. March came. Cold. Wet. I drove past Parkview Apartments one evening, saw them in the parking lot. Margaret, Derek, Emma, loading boxes into their car. They'd found somewhere. Good. I didn't stop. April. My birthday. 71. No call from Margaret. No text. I wasn't surprised. I went to the diner on 5th Street, ordered coffee and pie, sat by the window. My phone rang. Unknown number. Mr. Hayes? Speaking. This is Linda from Riverside Elementary. You're listed as an emergency contact for Emma Sullivan. My chest tightened. Is she okay? She's fine, but her parents didn't show up for the parent-teacher conference. 3rd one they've missed. I'm required to report this. But I wanted to call you first, see if you knew anything. I don't. We're not in contact. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How is she, Emma? Linda was quiet for a moment. She's struggling. Her grades have dropped. She's been acting out, getting into fights. The counselor thinks there's instability at home. What kind of instability? I can't share details, but I'm worried about her. She talks about you sometimes. Says you got her a milkshake once. I closed my eyes. That was months ago. She remembers. She asked if you were coming to her birthday party next week. I'm not invited. I figured. But I thought you should know she asked. Thank you for calling. Mr. Hayes, if you have any way to check on her, I think it would help. She needs stable adults in her life right now. I'll do what I can. I hung up. Sat there. Coffee cold. Pie untouched. Stable adults. I thought about Margaret, Derek, the eviction, the fights, the silence. I thought about Emma, acting out, struggling. I thought about my boundaries, my rules, my anger. And I thought about Martha. What would she do? I knew what she'd do. I paid, left, drove to Parkview Apartments. They weren't there anymore. Talked to the office. They'd moved out 3 weeks ago. No forwarding address. Called Margaret. Straight to voicemail. Texted, "Where are you living?" No response. Called Derek. Disconnected number. I sat in the parking lot. Out of options. Then I called Linda at the school. It's Frank Hayes. Do you have a current address for Emma Sullivan? I do, but I can't give it to you without parent permission. Can you call and ask? I can try. She called back 10 minutes later. Margaret said no. She said you're not allowed contact. Did you tell her I'm concerned? I did. She hung up. I thanked her. Hung up. Sat there. Hands on the wheel. I'd set boundaries. protected myself, cut off the toxic patterns, and now I couldn't find my granddaughter. Emma's birthday was April 23rd. She turned 5. I bought a present, wrapped it, drove to the school at dismissal, waited in the parking lot, saw her come out, backpack bigger than her body. Walking alone. Margaret pulled up. Emma got in the car. I followed them, kept my distance. They drove to a neighborhood I didn't recognize. Run down, old houses, chain-link fences, pulled into a driveway, small house, peeling paint, bars on the windows. Emma got out, went inside. I sat across the street, watched. The house was dark, no porch light, no movement. I waited. An hour later, lights came on. I saw shadows moving inside. I drove home. The next day, I wrote a letter. Margaret, I'm sorry. Not for setting boundaries, not for ending the lease, not for protecting myself, but I'm sorry I let my anger at you hurt Emma. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect contact. I don't expect anything. But Emma deserves better than our fight. If you'll allow it, I'd like to be in her life. Not as leverage, not as a bank, just as her grandfather. If you won't allow it, I understand. But I had to ask, Dad. I mailed it to the house on the rundown street. Waited. No response. 1 week, 2 weeks. Nothing. Then, May 7th, my phone rang. Margaret. Okay. You can see Emma. Once a month, supervised, at the park. I'll be there. Thank you. Don't thank me. This isn't for you. This is for her. I know. And if you ever try to manipulate her or turn her against me, you're done. Forever. I won't. Sunday, to, Riverside Park, the playground. She hung up. Sunday came. I got there at 1:45. Margaret's car pulled up at 2:03. Emma got out, saw me, ran. Grandpa? I caught her, held her. She'd grown. Hey, sweetheart. I missed you. I missed you too. Margaret stayed by the car, arms crossed, watching. Emma and I went to the playground. She showed me the monkey bars, the slide, the swings. We talked about school, her friends, her birthday. Did you have a party? I asked. No. Mommy said we couldn't afford it. I didn't respond to that. An hour passed. Margaret called her. Emma, time to go. Already? Already. Emma hugged me. Will you come back? If your mom lets me. She will. I'll ask her. She ran to the car, got in. Margaret looked at me. Didn't wave. Just looked. Then drove away. I saw Emma once a month, sometimes twice. Always supervised, always at the park, always with Margaret watching. Slowly, over months, Margaret started talking to me. Not much, just small things. Emma's doing better in school. Derek got a job, warehouse. Not much, but it's something. We're looking at apartments again, trying to rebuild our credit. I didn't offer money, didn't offer help, just listened. By August, Margaret let me take Emma for ice cream alone. 30 minutes. Then back to the park. By October, it was an hour. By December, Emma asked if I'd come to Christmas. Margaret said yes. Christmas morning. Small house, peeling paint, but warm inside. Emma opened presents, gave me a drawing she'd made. Me and her. Stick figures. Smiling. I love it, I said. It's us, she said. I can tell. Derek shook my hand. Awkward, but sincere. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me. Margaret made coffee. We sat at the small table. I'm sorry, she said. For what? For everything. For using you. For taking you for granted. For the Facebook post. For keeping Emma from you. I'm sorry too, for letting my anger hurt her. You had a right to be angry. Maybe, but I should have found a better way. She nodded. We're trying, Dad, to do better, to be better. It's hard, but we're trying. That's all I can ask. We finished our coffee, watched Emma play with her toys. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't healed, but it was something, and for now, that was enough. I still own 6 buildings, 42 units. Margaret and Derek still rent. Different place now. Cheaper, manageable. They haven't asked me for money in 8 months. I haven't offered. Emma visits twice a month, sometimes at the park, sometimes at my apartment. We watch movies, eat ice cream, draw pictures. She doesn't remember the fight, the eviction, the silence. She just remembers that Grandpa got her a milkshake once, and that's enough. If you like this story, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions in the comments. To listen to more stories, click on the window on the right. Thank you for being with us.